No one left behind is more than a standard we all live up to. It is a way of life. It is part of our mission. If you or someone you know finds themselves struggling with their mental health, please contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988 on your mobile phone or text 838 255 to speak or chat with a qualified counselor. Hey, everyone. Is it May yet?
Woo! Not quite yet, but we're about 180 days out from the start of Run for the Wall 2025.
Yes, that is a very pivotal countdown mark. Ready
How are you
for
doing,
some
Hitch?
kickstands up. Everything is going well on this end.
Good.
Now that you informed me that we are now only 2 hours apart in our time
That's right.
zones. But if this is
Arizona doesn't change. We stay, so everybody else changes.
I need everyone else to get on board with that. But if this is your first time joining us, welcome to the Run for the Wall podcast. And if you aren't familiar, Run for the Wall is the oldest and largest cross-country motorcycle run in support of veterans, prisoners of war, and those men and women who were killed in service. The goal of our podcast is to continue raising awareness for our mission, as well as bring a sense of community and education on how each and every one of us can show our support. And today, as with every other episode, we have an awesome co-host with us and guest, Lennie Big Red Hodson. Can you introduce yourself for us, Lennie?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Lennie Hodson. They call me Big Red, and I'm the route coordinator for the Southern Route for 2025.
Woohoo! I can't wait
Yay.
to jump into Southern Route because I feel like every guest that we've had thus far has had something to say about Southern.
Oh yeah, it's
like
the best route.
Southern is popular. So it's like, yes, we finally have you here in the house ready to chat. But before we jump into that, we're going to give thanks to some sponsors.
That's right. That's what we're going to do.
All right. Who do we have?
All right. So as always, I want to give a shout out to Fuller Law. They donate legal counsel to Run for the Wall. And if you or somebody you know is in need of legal counsel, whether it's motorcycle related or not, I think they do other stuff as well. Contact Fuller Law at 1-855-FULLER-LAW, FULLERLAW, or you can go to fullerlawforriders.com. So thanks, Chad, and everybody at Fuller Law. We really appreciate your support. As always, we also want to give a shout out to the Greater Ontario, California Convention and Visitors Bureau for their hospitality and accommodating the kickoff to Run for the Wall every year. Couldn't do it without them. And then also, I've mentioned it every time. We talked about hydration as a big priority. That was one of my tech tips early on. But we have a hydration trailer that follows the routes on all of the routes. That's just stocked with sodas and water and electrolytes and snacks. And those products are donated by PepsiCo and also by their lifetime competitor, Coca-Cola. And we want to give a shout out to them and really thanks to both of those companies for providing products for us, the Monster Energy drinks and everything else. It's, we couldn't do it without them either. And pallets upon pallets of water and all the snacks. So thank you to everybody who supports Run for the Wall. And hey, if you have a business or you know somebody who has a business who wants to support veterans causes and wants to support Run for the Wall, have them reach out to us and we'll get them in touch with people who can direct them properly. And again, contact us at pod@rftw.us or, through the Run for the Wall website.
Awesome. All right, Run for the Wall news and events. Registration is open. Registration is open. If you've
still
been
early
on the
bird
run,
rates.
Yep. And if you've been on the run, you're planning on going on the run. You're not sure if you're going on the run, but you want to go on the run and you think you may go on the run, go ahead. Go ahead and get registered. Go ahead and get registered so we can count you in that number. That like registration, that is step 1. Okay. Get registered. Countdown to the run. Midway, kickstands up Tuesday, May 13th. Central and Southern routes, kickstands up May 14th. And Sandbox, kickstands up May 25th. Anything else to update with those at this time?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at this time.
All right. Volunteer sign up. We just met and we're informed that sales is in need of people on all the routes with the exception of Midway.
Merchandise sales.
Oh, yes. Merchandise sales. Merchandise. Yeah.
So that's manning the trailer. We have, we also, in addition to the hydration trailers, we have merchandise trailers on each of the routes that have Run for the Wall pins and shirts and hats and collectibles, all kinds of cool stuff. I think we may even have some GMRS radios on the trailers this year.
That'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So if you lose your radio or it gets damaged or you want to buy a radio, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard some talk about having some things like that, and also maybe some spare parts for motorcycles. I don't know. Just things that we've been thinking about.
Stay tuned to the podcast and we'll update you on those items. But yeah, merchandise sales. Still in need of people.
If you're interested in volunteering to be one of the people who mans the merchandise trailer and sells the merchandise, we really need people to step up and volunteer on all of the routes.
That's right. And I know usually we drop these episodes every other week, but we may have to, based on the scheduling, drop this one early because I am putting out that merchandise is planning on doing Black Friday to Cyber Monday sales on the website as well. So definitely wanted to put that out. Your route itinerary booklets will be available March 2025. Still in the process of finalizing those, but of course you can access previous years at rftw.us. And then the prepaid fuel information will also become available March 2025. And then the hotel and camping info lists will be released January 1st or on or about that time.
Yep. And then we're going to have some local meetups, and you can check out on the Run for the Wall official forum and also on the events calendar. And we have meetups in Arizona, Colorado, Northern California, Washington, D.C. area. So again, check the forum. I know there's one, this podcast will come out after it happens, but there's one tomorrow in Arizona in the Anthem area, which is north of Phoenix and south of Prescott. And I'm going to be there. And so is Big Red. So Big Red, I'll see you tomorrow. And check that out because it's a great way to get in touch with other Run for the Wall folk and just talk about Run for the Wall and just keep our mission alive. Also, route communications. As you know, we've talked about it before. We're moving away from CB communications on all 4 routes, and we're moving to GMRS radios. And if you don't know what those are, that's okay. Check out the Run for the Wall forum at forum.rftw.us. And we have all kinds of YouTube video tutorials. There's some discount codes on buying equipment. There's all kinds of information on how to buy your GMRS radio, what to buy, where to buy, how to set it up. You know, I won't say it's easy, but with all of the documentation that many of the Run for the Wall people, personnel, route coordinators have produced, they step you through it, walk you through it, and it kind of makes it easy. So there you go.
All right. And moving into why we ride. Do you have a bio for us for today?
I do. I really do. I'm getting all set up here because I want to share my screen. And
Okay.
You know, when we first started doing these bios, I gotta say, it was very emotional for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, this is going to get easier. It does not get easier. It really doesn't. And I don't know why, but today, this bio, I've read through it several times and I'm going to do my best here. So stick with me, guys. This is why we ride. I'm going to share my screen here. Today, we remember William J. Franks of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bill was born on this day, November 15th, 1946, in St. Cloud, Florida. That is ironic because when I first started reading his bio, I didn't know, because we're recording this on November 15th. He was born today in 1946. Bill served in the Army, Company B, 2D Battalion Airborne, 502D Infantry Regiment as Private First Class. On February 25th, 1967, that is actually 2 days after I was born. I was 2 days old. On February 25th, 1967, while on patrol in the Lam Dong province of Vietnam, Frank's platoon was suddenly brought under tremendous volume of enemy fire from an estimated company-size element in fortified positions. As his platoon moved forward in the assault, Private Franks observed an enemy machine gun positioned to his front that was placing murderous fire on an element of his platoon. With complete disregard for his own personal safety, Private Franks exposed himself to enemy fire and began firing his weapon into the enemy position. Realizing that his fire was not effective and he must act quickly, Private Franks jumped up and charged the enemy position, firing as he ran. When Private Franks was approximately 20 meters from the enemy machine gun, he was struck by an enemy bullet and knocked to the ground. Getting on his feet, Private Franks continued to assault the enemy position until he was struck by another enemy bullet and mortally wounded. As a result of Private Franks' courageous actions, the enemy position was destroyed and many lives were saved. Private Frank's outstanding gallantry in action and his avid devotion to duty, even at the cost of his own life, are within the highest military traditions and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Private First Class William J. Franks was posthumously awarded the Silver Star for gallantry in action while serving with the United States Army. It is not the worst thing to die in war. It is not the worst thing to be missing in war. The worst thing is to be forgotten in war. Tell their names, say their names, tell their stories, never forget. William J. Franks, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Boots. Right.
I know, it hits you really hard, especially that one. I don't know why. Just when I'm researching these men and women who have served so valiantly for our nation and given their last full measure of courage so that we can live in freedom, I form sort of like a bond. It's hard to express. I form a connection with them. I kind of get to know them. And so this morning when I was getting prepared for this podcast and reading about Bill and all that he did and his courage, wow, I was just knocked back. But I decided that this year on Run for the Wall, I'm going to print out all of the bios, pictures, and laminate them, all of the ones I've read on the podcast this year, first season, and they're all riding with me the whole way from Ontario, California to the wall in DC, and I'm going to leave their bios right at the apex of the wall there, just as a symbolic gesture to remember them and all that they did for our country.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I love that.
That's a Run for the Wall tradition, by the way, everyone. That's what we do. That's why we ride.
So should we talk about that as the tradition this episode instead?
Absolutely.
I know we had something else in store. I can update that and we can move that to the next episode.
Yeah, let's do that because
Customs and Traditions, our newest segment.
Tell us about that, Hitch.
Our Customs and Traditions, yes, it's just where we like to go into the how and why we do the things that we do at Run for the Wall so that we can all remember the reasons why we're doing them and educate those who are new to Run for the Wall on what we're doing and why we're doing it. So today we're going to talk about how we carry bios with us from California to Washington, D.C., to the Vietnam Memorial Wall. And we're carrying them on our mission. We're completing the mission for them and bringing them home and bringing them to the wall.
Yeah, our motto is we ride for those who can't. And again, it's a symbolic gesture. So what happens in the morning at the morning safety briefing, normally the route coordinator for each of the routes will read several bios. And so today's bio that we read for William Franks, he served in the Army. So oftentimes the route coordinator will read a bio and he'll have it laminated and ready to go. And he'll ask for an Army FNG. That's a first-time rider who served in the United States Army to come pick up the bio and carry it with him on his motorcycle from that point to the wall. And those bios, some of the riders will put them inside of their fairing or tape them to a saddlebag, tape them to the back of the seat, or they could even go in the tour pack or a saddlebag. But they will carry that bio with them all the way to the Vietnam Memorial Wall or the Middle East Conflicts Memorial Wall in Marseilles, Illinois, and will leave that bio at the wall as a symbolic gesture that that person rode with us on Run for the Wall. And that's why we ride.
Thank you. Lennie, did you have anything to add to that custom and tradition?
Yeah, when we take the bios on the southern route, you can't have up on your windshield and stuff when you're riding for obvious reasons. But we, at all of our stops and stuff, we encourage everybody that's carrying the bios to take them out and clip them with an alligator clip or something to your windshield. So when we're at a fuel stop or lunch stop, the people that are coming out to see us and talk with us and visit with us can go by, because they all go by and look at the motorcycles. So those bios are out there for them to read. That's something that we do on the southern route, and I'm sure the other routes probably do similar things.
Yeah, I think it's kind of individual. Everyone does it a little bit different, but I like that tradition. I love clipping it to the windshield. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping into today's topic of the Southern Route with Big Red. I really want to hear your take. What makes Southern Route so special? Because, everyone says it.
Everyone says it. Well, we are the warmest route, and sometimes and always the hottest route. But we do get rain, and we've gone through hail and a couple of near tornadoes and stuff. But for the most part, we're the sunniest route to go on. We have some of the best food on the route. We've got 2 or 3 really good, I shouldn't say just 2 or 3, they're all good, but 2 or 3 good favorite stops that really take care of us are outstanding. We'll get into those, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will. All right, so tell us, how were you introduced to Run for the Wall, and when was that?
Back in probably 2009. I was working for Lockheed Martin. I'm retired from there. I was in the UAE as a contractor with the UTIC program, and somebody had told me about Run for the Wall, and I thought, well, that sounds pretty interesting, and I did a little research on it. So when I came back from the UAE, I was getting ready to retire at Run for the from Lockheed, and probably within 24 hours of stepping off the aircraft, I bought my 2010 Limited and registered for Run for the Wall, and 2010 was the my FNG year with Run for the Wall. So
Nice. Okay, so why do you ride or who do you ride for?
well, I ride for the camaraderie of the Vietnam vets and stuff. For 30 years or so after being in Vietnam and stuff, we didn't get a very good welcome home.
Mm-hmm.
So never
That's an
really,
understatement.
yeah, never really talked much about service and stuff, but went to Run for the Wall and stuff and found a brotherhood there, sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
The nurses took care of us. Of course, there was no combat females back in those days, but and I ride for all veterans, all MIAs, KIAs, anybody that served. You don't have to be a combat vet to have served.
And being
And
on the
their families.
run, you really get that warm welcome home at every single stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My first year, there was tears in my eyes everywhere I went. People on bridges, the stops. The allergies were really acting up.
Oh, the allergies.
That's good. I'm going to have to use that. It's my allergies.
So, what route did you do your FNG year?
Southern. I've been a Southern guy from the get-go.
So you haven't been on any other routes?
I've not been on any other route.
Wow, Lennie, wow.
Southern route.
How many years?
This will be 15.
15. Wow, that's amazing.
What other positions have you held
Yeah.
on Southerns? I mean, you're like a Southern route OG, so what? So this year you're route coordinator. I mean, yeah, you're the coordinator.
I started out as a tail gunner in 2012, and I've been a tail gunner, assistant platoon leader, and now the route coordinator.
Okay.
No ARC year for me.
Okay, so you've really
And
worked
ARC
your way.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's great. So, Lennie, what do you do to prepare yourself for the run every year, both physically and emotionally? Like you take lots of allergy medicine?
Oh, you stole my joke, Boots.
Try to get out and do a little more walking and stuff to get physically ready, and because I'm not too active anymore, so I try to do that. I do a lot of riding all the time because I'm here in Arizona, so we can ride 12 months a year, even in the
Brag
winter,
much.
14, 15 degree weather, the cooler weather. But I ride all the time. Try to stay hydrated, and just before the run, you start hydrating at least 2 or 3 weeks before, because if you start on the day of the run, you just can't hydrate your body, and especially being on the southern route where it's hot the first few days going across the deserts and stuff, you really need to be hydrated. And I tell that to everybody, F&Gs, seasoned riders, you got to hydrate.
That's an important tip. All right, so the stops that you all make, what are some of the highlights or pivotal stops that you all make? Oh.
First, meal stops that are really great on I mean, they're all good, but day 3 at our evening meal in Odessa, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
they really take care of us. They've got a caterer that comes in with fried fish, chicken, homemade ice cream.
Oh, wow.
So that's really good. And of course, Withville that Eric had touched on last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That community is just, you can't say enough about them. The whole town turns out for us. Go to the park. They feed us at their lodge at the end of town, big steak dinner.
What's an experience that sort of stands out the most to you? Would it be from your FNG year or from one of the other years? Like, what's your favorite experience or something that just
yeah,
really stands out from Southern? Or
well,
that
really,
you would tell someone, like, hey, wait until you get to this stop or be on the lookout for this?
yeah, I think my FNG year kind of submitted me in to Run for the Wall because I had a really, really great route coordinator at the time, Ray Too Tall. He was just outstanding, kind of hooked me on. I didn't have to hook me on the run, but hooked me on staying on Southern route. So I guess you could say just the FNG year was the year that really stands out in my mind.
With the people and the connections that you're able to make.
I was going to say, on my FNG year, we had gone to Riverside National Cemetery, which is a tradition we do every year.
Yep, before the run.
Ontario, we go there used to be on the Tuesday. I think we do it on Monday now, so midway riders can go also. But we'd been out there, had gone to the Medal of Honor area out there that they have, and there's a great POW statue out there, and the guy's son that was the architect of that statue comes out and gives a talk every year. And we were walking back to our motorcycles, getting ready to go back, and happened to be walking back with a couple, and asked me if I was going back to the hotel, and I told him no. At that time I was living in California. That's where I grew up. And we got to talking, and as more we talked, the more we kind of was really familiar with each other. And it turns out that we both went to high school, Fontana High School together, graduated in '68. And when we introduced ourselves to each other, well, we knew who each other was at that point. We just ran in different crowds during that time. So small world, the FNG world, or Run for the Wall world, small world. Run for the Wall.
Wow.
So that was another thing that made that year a highlight year.
Okay. What's our next question for Big Red?
Next question is best meal on Run for the Wall that you've had.
Best meal. Well, I kind of went through the two best meals already, so I can't really expand on that because the steak dinner in Withville is always great. They feed us big nice steak, big baked potatoes, salad, all kinds of desserts and stuff. So it's really good. And like I said before, the one in Odessa at dinner time is another good meal. Everybody looks forward to it if you've been on the Southern route before and you're back for the next year. That's always what you're looking forward to.
You know what? It's so great because it doesn't matter what route, the food that we are served as riders on Run for the Wall across the board is phenomenal. Let alone that it's through donations by various community organizations. I mean, it's great. And you know, the Hog chapter, if you're a Hog member, even if you're not, the Hog chapter's motto is ride and have fun. I think we changed that for Run for the Wall, ride and have food, right?
For food.
Right. You're not going to go hungry on Run for the Wall. And by and large, the food is outstanding.
Every stop provides you a good meal. I mean, there's everywhere you go.
Yeah, I would say special thanks to everyone who sponsors us for these meals at every stop, because they really do show up and show out and give their best. They give their best food, they give their best service, and they really open up and welcome all of us into their homes. So and hearts.
And again, another reminder for all of the riders, from road guards to FNGs, when we show up at any venue, remember to thank the volunteers, because, you know, we roll into town. Let's say we roll in the evening and they're serving us one of these wonderful steak dinners. they didn't just get there. They've been working since that morning, or maybe even the day before, or several days before.
And
a group of
planning
volunteers
for weeks and months,
purchasing, preparing, cooking, getting everything ready at the venue. I mean, it's a lot of work. So yeah, we want to just say thank you to everybody who supports Run for the Wall, the churches, the VFWs, the Elks Clubs, the Order of the Eagles. There's so many that I'm just forgetting, but for everything you do, thank you for supporting the mission.
Places we stop, or, small towns and stuff, and the whole towns work on this stuff all year to raise funds and stuff, so they can feed us. So yeah, be sure to thank them.
Yeah.
We couldn't.
And the Electrical Workers Union. I forgot those guys in Colorado. Hey guys, thank you again for every year that you're providing that lunch for us. Wanted to throw that out there too.
All right, Big Red. How did you get this road name?
6'3", and I used to have red hair, a lot of it, not so much anymore. But so people have called me Red or Big Red just about all my life.
Fitting. Okay.
Yeah, for 10 years, the bike that I've been riding for the last 10 years or 14 years, I guess.
I understand that you also have a big red truck too, right?
And a big red truck, that I bought about 2 years ago.
Is that intentional because you're Big Red, or was it a coincidence?
Just kind of a coincidence, especially on the bike and everything there. I mean, when I went to get the bike, there was 2 or 3 limiteds there at the time, and the other colors I wasn't really interested in, so I chose that one. And the truck just happened to be the truck that they brought out and showed us, and it was red. So
okay.
It was pretty easy.
I thought it was just you leaning into the name, like, hey, you know what? Let's just.
It's not a coincidence.
Okay.
That's good. Well, that's a good segue for our next question. I already kind of answered it. We always like to ask what you ride, but you mentioned Harley Davidson Ultra Limited. Why don't you tell us about that?
I still have the red one we're talking about, but I wanted some new technology. So just recently I went out and found a late model limited, and it is silver and midnight blue, and it's also limited. But I wanted the new technology, the boom box and the Milwaukee 8 engine and stuff. So I decided to bite the bullet because there's nothing wrong with the other bike. Time for a change.
So are you bringing the new bike on the run?
Yep, I've been modifying it to fit me, to make it my own. Of course, we all do it. You can't leave nothing stock. So
I am the king of not leaving anything stock.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
You'll be there in Ontario.
Are you going to ride it tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
All right, great. I'll ride mine tomorrow too.
All right.
Cool. All right, next question, Hitch. Why don't you take it?
All right. I know you spoke on some advice earlier, but I wanted to go back and ask, what advice do you have for FNGs? Like, what are some of the things where you're like, if you're an FNG, listen up?
Yeah, I would say to the FNGs and stuff, don't overpack.
Oh.
You will, but I'm just telling you not to. And you can send some stuff home because, when you stop in the evening, you're probably 5 minutes away from a Walmart or a Target or something. So you can get things if you think you need something that you didn't bring with you that you do, or anything. But yeah, don't overpack. Leave. And
being in hotels, if you need to do laundry, you can do it. You can wash.
With you. Get some wash pads and stuff where you don't have to carry a lot of soap. That's what I carry. Those flat washing pads that you throw in your clothes to wash them with, and then you leave it in there, and they're a dryer sheet as well.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's great.
Yeah.
They're called like laundry sheets.
I carry a little Ziploc bag of laundry detergent, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'll send you a link.
Yep, they're good.
Okay, cool.
Other things, hydrate. We talked about that earlier. You need to hydrate. Listen to the people around you, our road guards, your platoon leaders, assistant platoon leaders, tail gunners. They're there to help you. They're going to look at your bike and stuff, make sure if your bike's in good shape and stuff. If you're carrying a lot of luggage and baggage hanging on your bike, they're going to look at that stuff and make sure that it's securely attached, because you don't want stuff falling off the bike, because the guy behind you won't appreciate it. You don't want to be dodging things. And to leave your bad attitudes at home.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Leave the egos and attitudes at home.
Yeah, that's what I could I think are the important things. And for sure bring a little tissue with you, because you'll need it.
Yep.
I was going to say, usually the allergies take care of the attitudes. The allergies usually overpower attitudes. Like we tend to not have much of an issue.
Yeah.
And I can say, if you haven't ridden in a large pack, you're in for a total surprise. So, and road guards might be coming by and asking you to move up a little bit or something. Just follow people's directions. Don't take it personal. And if it seems like they're screaming at you, they're not. They're just trying to get their voice over the loud engines and the road noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing personal. They're trying to help you. That's what they're there for, to keep you safe across country.
Yep.
Those are all really good. Like that's an awesome rundown, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, not just FNGs, but for all riders.
For all riders, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Big Red, tell us about your plans for next year's, this upcoming Run for the Wall. When are you leaving? We know you're the route coordinator, but just tell us a little bit of a rundown on how you're going to approach it.
Before get ready to leave for the run, I start packing, seeing what I'm going to bring. And I'm a real minimalist, I guess is the word.
Mm-hmm.
I say about packing. I try to keep it as small as possible. I try to keep everything so I don't have to put a bag on my top of my tour bag. I try to keep everything in the tour pack or the saddle bags. I'll probably get into Ontario. Well, I know I'll be in Ontario Saturday. I used to come in on Sunday afternoon, but like I said, being the route coordinator this year, I have to get there a little earlier. So I know I'll be in Ontario Saturday. My son happens to live just 20 miles from there, so I'll probably go to California on that Friday and spend a day with him. But that's pretty much my...
Does your son ride?
Yeah, he's got a little small bike. He doesn't do a whole lot of riding. It's more of a, I don't know, just a get around bike that he uses when he goes camping and stuff. Him and his girlfriend. He's a big camper and hiker and stuff. So he's got a really nice. I guess he's got a toy hauler now or some sort of thing. He had a camper before. So
well, we need to convince him to get out on the run.
Yeah, he's still working full time. So uses all of his vacation times and stuff. Usually either going skiing, snowboarding, or hiking. So maybe someday.
Yeah,
that's great. Are you going to go to the Riverside National Cemetery before the run this year?
This year, I'm not going to be able to.
Yeah, you got a lot of things weighing on your time there.
A lot of stuff for the route coordinator to do.
Yep.
There at Ontario, so a lot more meetings to go to than when I was a platoon leader and stuff. I had a couple to do then, but now I'm pretty much involved with every meeting that everybody else does. The FNG meetings, the camping coordinators, and board meetings and stuff that has to be done. Take care of the paperwork side of the business.
Yeah, because we have to go to the meeting to prepare for the meeting for the meeting.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Ontario before the run. Not just the ride over to the Riverside National Cemetery. There's also skills building in the D parking lot that we did for the first time last year, which was fantastic. We did a sort of set up a gymkhana with some cones. There's some professional instructors out there, and it gives riders a chance to practice their slow riding skills. So that was a lot of fun too. There's so much going on in Ontario.
That's something we should have mentioned about getting ready for the run and stuff, is go out and practice your slow riding.
For sure.
Practice making U-turns, go out to some deserted parking lot and try to do U-turns inside like 2 parking spaces wide.
Yes. Very important.
Little weaving and stuff, but yeah, slow riding, because there is a lot of slow riding with Run for the Wall.
Well, and every time we get onto the highway and every time we get off of the highway, guess what? We're pulling into gas stations, parking lots, staging areas, and guess where most of the tip overs occur? Gas stations, parking lots, staging areas. So practice. It's a perishable skill. Every time you get on your bike, do a few U-turns, do a few slow or tight circles. Learn how to work that brake and ride the clutch in the friction zone. So
that's important. Got to learn that.
Yeah. Right on.
I just thought of something. We don't always park in parking lots, and it can be handy to have, I don't even know what to call it, but like a little plate or something to put for the kickstand.
Kickstand plate.
Thank you.
I have tons of them.
Yes. That is my tip. That's Ty's tech tip for the season, because no, when you all were talking about all of the places that we pull into, I just got this visual, like it's not always paved, and it sometimes is grass, sometimes gravel, and sometimes that grass can be wet. And when you are parking a bike that weighs, how much do these bikes weigh, Lennie? A lot.
Bike, yeah, they're 900 plus pounds.
Yes, they will sink. So having a plate to rest the bike on, to rest the kickstand on, that will help. Otherwise, you'll be picking the bike up anyway due to no fault.
That's right. I ran over to my bike. I was going to grab it to do a little show and tell, but I moved it. So it's probably in my saddlebag, but I don't want to sit there digging through it. But I have a stack of them. I've got some on the wall over here. I've got my Harley actually in the garage. I use it so it doesn't ruin my floor. But they're really handy to have, and you can get them everywhere. Every motorcycle shop has them.
I'm so proud of myself for that tech tip. You have no idea.
Hitch, that's awesome. But I actually do have a tech tip for today.
Yes. So on a serious note, I was serious, but moving on to tech tips with Ted, what do we have for today?
Okay, so this is a good one. This is one of my favorites. So I want to talk about essentials that you carry on the bike, because like Big Red said, he's a minimalist. I try to be a minimalist too. However, there's a few essentials that you should have on your bike that really come in handy when things go pear-shaped. So, a lot of us carry pocket knives. That goes without saying, right? It's so handy. A lot of us carry flashlights. Always make sure you got, batteries and it works. And that's kind of a given. But what I want to talk about is something that I got 3 items and a bonus item that not everybody carries. Whether you're on a motorcycle ride, even in your car, when you're going hiking, on a bicycle ride. It's just really good stuff. So my first item, one of my favorites, is carry a good whistle. You can blow a whistle louder than you can scream and longer than you can scream. And if you need to get somebody's attention in a situation, an emergency situation or anything, people shut up and listen when you're blowing a whistle. So whether you're trying to get someone's attention because it's an emergency and you need help, or you're trying to get someone to shut it down and listen up, a good whistle is a great thing to have. My favorite, This one is called the Acme Thunderer. This is my favorite whistle. And you can buy these on Amazon. They're about $15 or so, and they last forever. And this, I have 2 or 3 of these, and they're in the pocket of all my, of my vest and my favorite jacket. I keep one in my car. The other whistle that I highly recommend is called the Fox 40. I don't like it as much because it's plastic, but it's 3 decibels louder than the Acme Thunderer. This is 117 decibels rated, and the Fox 40 is 120 decibels rated. But they're both available on Amazon, or you can get them at a sporting goods store. Great thing to have. Item number 2, often overlooked, some rope. I carry just a length of rope with me, and you can use this for an infinite number of things. To tie down something, to fix, like I had a buddy who broke a kickstand spring. I just cut a little bit of this rope off with my knife, and we tied his kickstand up, and he got it to a dealer where he could get a replacement spring. But the amount of uses for rope are, again, infinite. Even if you don't have a tourniquet and someone's injured, you could use it as a tourniquet. Learn how to do that. We're not going to go into that today. The other thing, number 3, is have a way to make a fire. You could use a good old-fashioned Zippo lighter, but remember, Zippos, you need to fill them pretty often, because if it's the traditional one, that fluid evaporates. This one is a torch for lighter, or for a cigar, but also those run out of butane. So you could use a plastic lighter, one of the disposable butane lighters, or my favorite, what I carry in my hiking equipment, is waterproof matches. Those are awesome. And again, you can get those online pretty inexpensively. Then I have a bonus item. And this, again, comes from my friend, Kathy Novak. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Kathy.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for all the great tech tips. In fact, the clutch lever, carrying a spare clutch lever, that came from Kathy also. But Kathy's favorite little extra bonus item to carry in her motorcycle is a cheap, opaque shower curtain. Not a clear one, an opaque one. They cost about $1.99. They might be a little more expensive now at your favorite, convenience store, like a Walmart or a Dollar Tree. Don't get the clear one, get the opaque one. It's like sort of a frosted white. And they're lightweight. They fold up really small. But the thing that is so convenient about these little shower curtains is if you need to create a shelter in a hurry, whether it's from sun or rain or hail, you can tie it off with your rope and your knife to your motorcycle and a tree or a park bench. It can be used as a shelter. We also had a situation probably about 10 years ago now, where unfortunately on one of the rides we had an accident scene. We got out the shower curtain and used it as a shade over the injured party to keep them out of the sun until other help arrived. But if you needed to protect some items from the weather, I mean, there's just, again, 1,001 uses, and it's very easy, lightweight, compact, easy to pack, inexpensive. If you use it, you can throw it away. You can pick up another one for, a couple, $3 at the dollar store. But that's it. A good whistle, some rope, a way to make a fire, and one of those cheap plastic opaque shower curtains. That is Ted's tech tip for today.
I love it. I loved all of those. Thanks. I like those a lot. So let's see. Moving on to the listener letter. This week, we don't have any letters that came in to us, but what I do notice is that you all are active on the YouTube page, posting comments, and I absolutely love it. Thank you. Continue to share with us and interact with us via social media. But since we don't have a letter, I figured we could do some of the FAQs from the page.
That's great.
Okay, so the first FAQ that I pulled is, can I register at the location I joined the run instead of online? What's the answer?
You want me to answer that?
You can answer it. You can answer.
Okay, I'll answer it. So, yeah, you must register with Run for the Wall in order to ride with us, okay? And you need to check in and get your Run for the Wall materials, platoon assignment, and just safety briefing, everything at the location where you join the run. So remember that you can't join midday, you have to join at the end of a day, because if you join midday, you miss a safety briefing and you'd have to ride behind the last main vehicle until you have an opportunity to go through the safety briefing, get a platoon assignment and all that.
Right.
There you go.
But so as far as registering at the location where you join instead of joining online, I know this used to be the way I guess you could do it, but now you need to register online first.
Well,
so
okay,
that's
sorry.
So you must register online first.
I'll talk to that a little bit.
You don't have to, but it's the preferred method.
Well, the
It
website,
is preferred, but
the website
here's the deal. So all registration takes place online. If you show up, let's say you show up on day 3 of the Southern route, okay? When you show up to registration, really that's just check-in. What registration's going to do is they're going to say, do you have a phone? And you're going to say, of course I have a phone. And they're going to say, go to the website and register on your phone. That way you pay and you're registered, and then they'll check you in. And if you don't have a phone, I'll bet there's somebody standing within 3 feet of you who does.
Who lets you get registered online. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically how it works.
Okay. And so what if I change my mind about where I want to start the run after I've registered?
Not a problem. All you got to do is contact us, Run for the Wall. There's a contact form, or you can fill out the regular contact form. Also, registration at rftw.us. Let us know what changes you want to make, and we will make those changes for you. And while I'm at it, I also want to say that when you register for Run for the Wall, it does not create any type of account. The registration system is completely different from the merchandise system. We do that for security and privacy reasons. So there's no account created, and there's nowhere for you to log in as a registrant. Only the login is only for 2 things. 1, for merchandise sales, and 2, for the forum. And those are 2 different logins. But the whole point is, if you need to make changes, just email us and we'll make those changes for you.
Too easy.
Too easy. And you know what? Since you did FAQs, I have to say this because, again, I answer all of the emails that come in from the website. And so the number 1 all-time most frequently asked question about Run for the Wall is,
do I have to be a veteran to participate?
Thank you very much. And no, you don't. I am not a veteran. My dad is a veteran. I'm a patriot. And there are plenty of patriots who are on the run. And if you're not a veteran, just come join us. This ride is for everyone. And we're riding to bring about an awareness of POWs and MIAs and a full accountability for them, and to honor those who have served, and to really ride for those who can't. So join us, whether you're a veteran or not. If you're a patriot like me, come on out and join us at Run for the Wall.
Yep. And if you don't ride a motorcycle, but you have talents that could be used in other areas, hey, reach out. We are inclusive, right?
That's right. Absolutely. So Big Red, do you have anything else to add here as we're wrapping it up?
Well, just understand we encourage patriots to join the ride. And like I said, you don't have to ride a motorcycle. But if you are riding in a vehicle, we ask that you ride a couple of miles in front of the pack or a couple of miles behind the pack. You cannot ride with the pack if you're in a vehicle other than a motorcycle or a trike.
Right.
That's the only thing I have to add.
Thank you. Perfect.
And thank you so much for joining us today. It was
my
a
pleasure.
great pleasure spending this time with you and getting to learn a little more about your experience with the run.
Yeah, now I want to do the Southern route more than ever. I do it. We're going to do it. All right, everyone. Well, welcome home. I didn't say it earlier, but I want to say welcome home. And it's May is just around the corner. For more information on Run for the Wall, please visit the official Run for the Wall website at rftw.us.
That's right. And don't forget to send us your experiences on the run, topics you would like to hear, and any questions or suggestions that you may have to pod@rftw.us. That's pod@rftw.us. Until next time, how far are we going?
All the way.
See y'all in May.
Bye.
Bye.